Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Talk of the Town with me, Lynn Positon, also known as Lynn About Town. And I have a wonderful little light up Happy New Year hat on. And I was not here on New Year's Day, which was my Tuesday, and I was with family, but I had a recorded show play. So I want to welcome everyone to 2019. I wrote it for the first time today, and I definitely did my 18 scratch out on my first check of the year. And I can't believe it's 2019. Also, it is my anniversary today. I have been married 30 years, which is these days quite a feat. I think people stayed married years ago for a lot of the wrong reasons, and they toughed it out, and maybe a few of them shouldn't have. But honestly, my message to everyone is that marriage is a very, very interesting partnership, and it is a partnership, and there's a lot of things to work out, but by working things out, there's a lot of growth for each person involved in the relationship. And I think without toughing things out and making things go right, one doesn't understand or appreciate the growth that a being will have when they are in a really good, long-standing relationship. So to my husband, Russell, happy anniversary. I am very glad we picked each other 30 years ago, and we have 4 wonderful kids, and I have 3 stepkids, so we have 7 beautiful kids together and a big family, and I love it. So congratulations to me. So today, I wanted to talk about a couple of things that have happened since I haven't told you recently. On New Year's Eve day, I had a good friend of mine, Yvonne Rogers. Hi, Yvonne, if you're watching. And Yvonne said, "Hey, Lynn, do you want to do a beach cleanup with me?" And I said, "Sure." I thought to myself, what a way to kick off the new year, doing something productive on a beautiful day in the most beautiful place where we live, and not take it for granted, but actually appreciate the beauty of Clearwater Beach, because it is a destination where people come from all over the world, and it's our yard. And so I thought to myself, let's go see if there's some cleanup that needs to be done after all the different tourists that come. Our job was actually to clean up cigarette butts. Now, I smoked cigarettes 100 years ago, when I was in my 20s, for a very little bit of time, and then I quit, and so I haven't touched one since. So, but I was never one of these, my husband and I will say, like, annoying reformed smokers. But I can tell you something that I learned about these cigarette butts. The actual filter does not decompose. We picked up so many scads of them at the beach, and the beautiful area is kept very clean. Clearwater City Parks Department does a wonderful job keeping it clean, but cigarette butts are a very annoying thing. They land places, they float into the sea. Animals think they're food. They eat them, and they're eating this nasty filter that's had all these bad chemicals, cadmium, all kinds of carcinogenic chemicals pulled through it, and it's not a good thing. And it's interesting because the group that I was with, let me acknowledge them. You can find their page on Facebook. It's called SEA, S-E-A, Going Green. SEA Going Green. Green in a good way, green, become more conscious of the environment and doing green things. SEA Going Green ran this cleanup, and Melissa was our host. Hi, Melissa, if you're watching. And her family, her mom and dad, were here, and she's actually based out of the Netherlands, believe it or not. And so having them come here to Clearwater Beach was quite a little treat. Anyway, so a group of strangers met up, and we all had little different tasks, and Yvonne and I did the cigarette butts. I'm going to show a picture of our group to Facebook, and there we are. And we had a great time, and it was, as you can see, beautiful, beautiful weather at Pier 60. We picked up, I don't know what the stats are because it wasn't my cleanup. We picked up a ton of debris, and most of it was cigarette butts. So SEA Going Green was partnering with a group called the Terra Mar Project. Look them up as well, Terra Mar Project, Terramar Project. I was on their website today, and this is one of their cute little logos. I love the ocean. And when you go to their website, terramarproject.org, you can actually sign up and sign a pledge. And it's just like 3 little things you're signing up for. 1, I pledge that I love the ocean. And 2, I pledge I support the need for the ocean to be managed sustainably for generations to come. That's it. But it's really cute, and I think anyone who's even a little conscious should do it, because you also get this cute little passport, and you can upload it and print it. And I did it, and it took about 3 seconds. And so that was a nice fun thing. But there are great videos on their website. There's so much to learn. So I'm going to read a little bit about them. terramarproject.org. Our mission is to educate and inspire a global community to promote awareness, transparency, and responsibility for the ocean. On behalf of the ocean and all the creatures that call it home, thank you for taking the I Love the Ocean pledge. You have joined the fastest growing global community dedicated to preserving the ocean, and now officially have dual citizenship to land and sea. Click on the image to download your free personalized digital passport here. So to save the ocean, we basically need to grow the community, because me not being aware that these cigarette butts did what they did and they didn't go away and they wash into the ocean and animals are eating them. I mean, I kind of should have known that, and I didn't. I didn't even think of it. So awareness of a group or a project is what I like to do on the Talk of the Town, and just in a very light way, in a very pleasant way, tell people about things that maybe they didn't know about, or groups that they could join, or events they could be part of that they wouldn't necessarily know about. So the terramarproject.org is the website. I strongly suggest you go, and maybe you can get like Christine, maybe the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts could go on as a group and maybe join their group and take the pledge, and go to their Facebook page. They have a great Facebook page. Actually, Seagoing Green as well has a great Facebook page, so you should go there, because what happened was she did a little interview with me, Melissa, and I went to their page the other day and it was on there. So you'll get to see the little interview I did from our cleanup day. But it's just, I think it's fun to just grow and learn that you can walk into a group of strangers if they're like-minded, and you can find new friends. Even at 55 years old, I love making new friends. I didn't think that was really possible. I thought that was something you just did when you were a little kid. But actually, if you find a like-minded project, you will expand, I think, as a person and find more friends. So that's partly what I want to do here as well. So on Seagoing Green, I want to talk about them for a minute. Here's their logo on Facebook. You'll see it, Seagoing Green. And so this is a quote from their website. A destination ultimately loses its profitability when it loses its beauty. I think we can agree on that. If suddenly Clearwater Beach became gray and overridden with trash, and no rules, and ill-mannered people were allowed, or trouble spots were allowed, and disorder, we wouldn't want to go there, right? So Seagoing Green does a very interesting thing. They offer consultation services to develop green transition strategies for tourism companies. So now look at that. They took this heart, felt purpose of keeping the ocean clean and going green, and they figured out, these smart staff members there figured out a way to actually make a very good business out of that, showing tourism companies how they can and should take responsibility for the environment. So their hashtag is Go Green for the Big Blue, and their website is seagoinggreen.org. And on Facebook, they're Seagoing Green, and on Twitter, they're @SeagoingGreen. And Melissa Novatani is the Business and Partnership Development Manager. So she says, make memories, not waste. So I think she's awesome. It was a pleasure meeting her. On Facebook, I'm showing some pictures of our group there. That's Melissa, the cutie with the blonde hair, and Yvonne behind me, and her parents, and another gentleman, I think possibly a good friend of hers. So they are an environmental consultancy enterprise whose mission is to protect the integrity of the oceans by promoting sustainable tourism through sustainable business. And they want to really use the transformative power of tourism industry as a catalyst for, I'm staggering today here. They are wanting to use the transformative power of the tourism industry as a catalyst for sustainable use of the natural environment. I think I should get $5 for that one without stammering. So the ocean is definitely under more pressure than ever. And I think the little bit of ways you can, help by becoming aware even of the cigarette butts. Now, Terramar Project did a really cool thing. They provided these adorable little plastic pouches that had a little snap on them. And it's a portable ashtray, basically. So it's brilliant because you can write to them and get these and do a campaign with them. Like I said, Christine or the Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, if someone's listening, let's partner up and let's get these these little portable cigarette ashtrays to people, because I think it's a great thing. You have it in your purse. You don't want to throw the butt down. You become aware of it. What do? Do you, push it out with your finger and then throw it on the ground? No, you don't want to do that. So these little pouches are great. And Terramar Project provided them. Their campaign is called No More Butts. And I want to, like I said, becoming aware of something and how you weren't aware of it before, and then how it becomes, your own data. I was reading about the cigarette butts after that, because now that Yvonne and I were saying, now that we pick them up, we see them everywhere. Prior to that, I wasn't really even seeing them, how they kind of congregate on a wall where someone would go on break, and they're kind of everywhere, right? So 2.3 million cigarette butts are littered every minute around the world. That's a lot. 4.5 trillion cigarettes are thrown out around the world every year. That's 2 billion pounds of trash that can be recycled. Cigarette butts are one of the most commonly collected items at beach cleanups. 65% of all cigarette butts are littered. So they don't all end up in ashtrays. 65% of them are littered. Now, throwing your butt on the ground has become a societal norm. In other words, that's why you don't necessarily see it as littering, whereas other littering you see as littering. So again, my awareness came up to, why did that become a societal norm? It really kind of shouldn't be. Once you know that that filter is not breaking down and that it is ending up in the ocean, and that 65% of those little guys are littered all over, kind of raises your awareness, right? So everyone who smokes ditches their butts on the ground, flicking them unconsciously as a habit. What people don't see is that the cigarette butt then goes on a journey of its own, traveling through the waterways where all roads lead to the ocean. Why is this form of pollution acceptable? Why do we levy heavy fines for all other types of pollution, yet when we see someone litter a butt, we don't even think twice about it? So again, I'm not trying to become, an annoying reformer. That's not my goal, but raising awareness to something that did become a societal norm when I don't believe it should. And when you become aware of it, you probably go, yeah, just let's put them in ashtrays, or let's pick them up. Let's, become aware of that. So it's time to change that societal norm. It starts by understanding the facts, because butts don't belong on the beach or in our ocean. The only butts that belong in the beach are our own. I got that off their website. I can't be that clever. I was calling myself a butt picker that day. Yvonne and I were picking up butts for a couple hours, and we were making a lot of fun names for ourselves: butt pickers, butt heads, you name it. We came up with this. So here's an interesting statistic: 2.3 million butts are littered every minute. 1 in 10 reach a body of water. So Mr. Sea Turtle thinks this thing floating by is a piece of food and he sucks it down, and what was filtered through that filter was cadmium and all kinds of, terrible chemicals. So they're poisoning to the water and the wildlife. Cigarette butt litter is toxic when wet. Butts emit cadmium, lead, arsenic, and zinc into water and soil as they decompose. Cigarette butt litter is also toxic even when it doesn't reach a waterway. Butts contaminate aquatic ecosystems with tar, nicotine, and other potentially deadly substances that can leak into rainwater. So it's just no bueno, no matter how you look at it. Even if I was smoking right now, I would absolutely, even if it wasn't yesterday, but absolutely by now watching this, I would realize I've got to responsibly, consciously get rid of my cigarette butts. So poisoning water and wildlife, not to mention the unsightly, butts everywhere. And like I said, once you pick them up, you see them. They're everywhere. So, one cigarette butt, approximately 2 gallons of water, is lethal to small crustaceans. So you put 1 cigarette butt in 2 gallons of water and let it soak, you will be in lethal levels of chemicals to little crabs and things like that. So it's real. Cigarette butts have been found in fish, birds, sea turtles, and other marine creatures who mistake the butt for food. And here's a picture. This is my picture. This is me of my No More Butts package, which is a little portable ashtray. And we were filling them up left and right. We decided at a certain point to just use the big garbage bag, and I cleaned one out and gave it to a friend that I know smoked, and she loved it. She's like, great. I go out and I don't know what to do with my cigarettes sometimes, and I put it in my purse, and my purse smells. So it gives you this cute little package to pick them up. And here's a photo. We're at Clearwater Beach picking the butts up. And something that I wanted to, leave with everybody is making changes aren't always easy. I personally have to go on a big diet. I am not in the mood. I don't want to do it hardcore. I just don't have the energy to do something extreme. But with New Year's comes, you go, okay, enough's enough. I hate the size I am. I'm going to do something about it. And so my thought was, what can I do? That next step, what can I do that consciously I'm okay with, I've approved, I don't feel forced to do, and it's palatable. And I started juicing celery with my husband. I found out it has all these benefits. I like the taste of celery. So every morning we start off with this fresh celery juice, and I notice my joints are hurting less. So it's that kind of thing, you're just adding to your awareness and then making a change. So with this cigarette butts and littering, it is litter. So, I'm not asking you to get in a fight with someone if you see them fling a butt, but realize that it has become a societal norm. I don't believe it should. And if you become aware of that and feel the same way, then you'll find a way to add that next thing palatably that you could, make a change. And I think that the Terramar Project, remember Terramar Project has these hashtag No More Butts little pouches, and they have a whole, you can send them in and send them to them and they'll dispose of them properly. But go to their website, theterramarproject.org, and go to seagoinggreen.org. Both websites are who we started this cleanup with, and it's a great thing to do. So that's all I've got on my nature kick.